Hello everybody, Aki here, and welcome back to Corpse Party D20 Hope. It is currently 1:55 a.m. Still the same night that I'm recording this. And we're gonna continue with Chapter 2. We left the bathroom and began heading back to the classroom where I had found Makai's bones. The hallway felt even longer than usual on the way back, and I started to wonder why it was taking so long to get there. After a while, I stopped and started looking around, trying to find something familiar to tell me if we were going the right way. What's wrong? Doesn't this hallway feel long to you? I mean, we haven't even passed that green ooze again yet. Wakahisa frowned and looked around. You're right, it feels like we've been walking more than long enough to get at least that far. I was trying to think of what to do when I saw a girl standing in the hallway, back in the direction we came from. Who's that? Hee 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 hoo hoo ha ha, it is Shiho! Wakahisa turned around and took a step back when she saw the figure. Has she been following us? I took a few steps towards the girl, trying to make out her face. Her face was concealed in shadow, but I can see that she was wearing a Tendo Senior High School uniform. That girl's from our school! I ran towards the girl and called out to her, trying to get the... That was more like a exaggerated jog, the way that those sounded. Hey, are you trapped here too? The girl played with her hair instead of responding, and I noticed that she had a cute red ribbon holding her hair back. Wakahisa caught up to me a few moments later, looking first at the girl and then back at me. Do you recognize her? I don't remember anyone with a red ribbon like that, no. The girl finally seemed to take interest in us when I said that, since she turned to face us. Despite the lighting of this old schoolhouse, I still couldn't quite make out her face. I see where your loyalty lies, Ryoto. How does she know my name? I don't remember her at all. Why is she talking to me as if we're familiar with each other? Sorry, I'm not sure we've talked much. I don't recognize your face. The girl smiled at me, though it seemed like she was mocking me rather than reassuring me. Of course you'd not remember the faces of other girls. You've already found the loose one. Wow. All you need to do is string her along until she do anything you want her to. What? What are you talking about? Wakahisa grabbed my arm and looked at me with concern, whispering into my ear. I don't like this. We should go. Yeah, same. The girl seemed to hear what Wakahisa said and chuckled. Listen to her. You have her wrapped around your finger already. Then again, I'd have picked her over Yukio too. He's such a pain to be around. I'm not sure how you put up with him for so long. I was starting to get worried. This girl that I didn't recognize seemed to know a lot about us. Who are you? Who are you? The girl turned away and played with her hair, drawing attention to the red ribbon. You'd like to know, wouldn't you? The lights flickered on and off. The lights flickered out as she finished her sentence, and I heard the girl's giggling voice get quieter and quieter. When the lights came back on in a few seconds, she was gone. Who was that? I don't know. Chapter 2, The Haunted Schoolhouse. Clear. I really like how they drew Shiho. Shiho's really cute. Give me 1 second. Chapter 3, Blind Trust. Yay, we get to play, I was about to say Mikasa, Misaki. First thing I remembered after waking up was a massive headache. Ow, ow, ow. Itayo. I clutched my head in both hands, praying for the pain to go away. Stop it. Somehow my headache started to subside as soon as I spoke those words. As the pain faded away, I opened my eyes and looked around. A quick scan of the room was enough to tell me that this wasn't my classroom. Where am I? I sat up and brushed some dust off my uniform while I tried to remember what happened to make me pass out in the first place. I had a vague recollection of going to Kazu's classroom after my class's festival preparations were done, but I couldn't quite bring up the full memory. Concentrating harder, I tried to piece together the memory that was my class. What was my class doing for the festival again? It worried me a bit that I was having so much trouble remembering what I was doing just before I passed out. I felt like I was about to remember something when pain surged through my skull. Damn it. Yeah. Clutching my head and squeezing my eyes shut, I went back to trying to will the pain away. Misa, are you okay? The pain lessened a bit, and I looked up at the voice calling out to me. Kazu? Kazu, is that you? Who is Kazu? I don't remember a Kazu. Kazoo! The Kazoo! I love Kazoo Kid, man. I love Kazoo Kid. Hey, Kazoo Kid, do you like playing the Kazoo? Sorry. Kazu ran over to me and grabbed my arm. She stared at my face with concern. Her name is Kazumi. Damn it! Are you okay? You look pale. The headache subsided again, but I wondered if that was really the end of it. It was just a headache. I think I'm fine now. It is so hot in my room. I wish I could turn on the fan, but it'll make too much noise. I looked around again, trying to take a bit more of the situation in. Do you know where we are? Well, it looks like a music room. I meant, what is this place? It's not our school, that's for sure. Oh, I don't know, but it seems kind of old. Yeah? You're right, this place looks abandoned. Why is my tie green? And why is hers red? Are we different years? I stood up though Kazu stayed close as I did so. I guess she was still worried that I might be hurt. How did we get here? The last memory I have is of being in your classroom. That's all I remember too. Do you think someone drugged and kidnapped us? Kazu blurted it out without thinking, but I started to wonder if she might be right. That would explain why we don't remember anything, but if we were kidnapped, why are we here? Why is no one else here with us? Kazu shrugged. I guess this is as far as she wanted her imagination to go. We should probably check to see if we can leave. I'd rather not stay here. I like that idea. I'll follow you, Misa. I smiled at Kazu. Are they gonna be gay? Can they be gay? That'd make me so happy. You know what? They kind of remind me of Seiko and Naomi. Just the light versus dark and like the hairstyles. I smiled at Kazu. Something about hearing that nickname in person felt reassuring. Something tugged at the back of my mind. Why was I thinking as if I hadn't been with Kazu for a while? We've been going to the same schools for years now. A pulse of pain discouraged me from thinking about that any further. Let's go try the door. What's wrong with my head? The door opened without any resistance, and we left the music room. Whoever kidnapped us doesn't seem too worried that we'll leave. Weird. Maybe they did it for fun? I don't know. I don't think it works that way, though. I saw a set of double doors at the end of the hallway and headed toward them. This way, I think this might be an exit. I pushed one of the doors open and stepped across the threshold. It was raining outside, and I stepped out of the building to try to see through the storm. It was really dark, and aside from another school building, I couldn't see much past a massive forest in every direction. Misa, look out! Kazu grabbed my arm and pulled me back. As she did so, I noticed that I had almost stepped off the edge of a shattered bridge. Thanks, sorry about that. That was kind of cute how they pulled her. I don't know. It's the little things in these visual novel type games that I really enjoy. I examined the bridge and the ground below more closely to determine that this was probably the second floor of the building. Across from this building was another, which is probably where the bridge led while it was still standing. It looked so far down to just jump. Kazu walked a bit closer to the edge and nodded when she saw the drop. We'd probably twist our ankles if we jumped down. Yeah, probably. You'd probably do more than just twist your ankles. You might, snap. Yeah, you might snap your legs, and, that wouldn't be good now, would it? I sighed and ran a hand through my hair while I tried to think of what to do. Let's go back inside. Maybe we'll find another exit. Yeah, I hope so. With that decided, we headed back into the building. We began searching for an exit. A lot of the doors just led into rooms, so the progress was slow. Eventually, I decided to talk to Kazu to pass the time while we looked for the next door. So, how are the festival preparations going? Kazu winked at me. It's going great. Fukuda? Futada Hikaru? I know that's gonna get people mad. Fukuda made these great costumes for everyone to wear. I think her friend Miyazaki from class 1-3 is a bit jealous. What was it you're doing again? It's like a maid cafe, but instead of maids, everyone is dressing up as magical girls. That's different. It should be interesting to see how well that goes. Sorry. The words maid cafe struck something in my mind. Why do these words feel significant? How are things going for you, Misa? Well, the girls in charge of dedicating or deciding what to do with the festival wanted a maid cafe, but my friend wanted a haunted house. It's not as fun as I'd have liked it to be. I got drafted into putting up the booth at the last minute. Aw, that sucks. Which of your friends wanted the haunted house? Well, I only really have one friend at the school, and not many people like being around her, so now they avoid me too. Eh? You only have one friend at our school? Does your girlfriend not count? I stopped walking. Something was wrong with my memories. Why did I say I only have one friend at school? I have plenty of friends. I don't think I've ever been one to turn down a new friend. So, why did I say I only had one friend? A sudden burning sensation erupted in my brain and I felt myself fall to my knees. What's going on? Misa, are you okay? I grabbed at my hair and pulled on it, wishing I could forget about the pain inside my skull by tearing at my hair. Misa! I felt Kazu put her arms around me and hold me tight. Feeling her so close changed something, and my headache went away. My head keeps hurting. Why? Considering the memory confusion I seem to be having, I suspected the worst. Maybe I'm having a stroke. Don't say that. You need to be okay. We should go to a hospital once we get out of here, just in case. I forced myself to my feet. Let's hurry and find that exit. There's only one part of the hallway left to check, so I headed toward a door that looked like it led to a stairwell. Unfortunately, that door didn't budge when I tried to open it. Looks like we're not leaving through here. I sighed and started checking some of the other doors. While walking toward one of the doors, I felt a strange sensation. For some reason, it felt like the air was denser here. I don't like this door. I took a deep breath and slid the door open. The room inside looked like a club room. There's a typo there, Jackal. From our school, it had a blackboard and desks, but it also had a lot more space for storing club materials. I noticed that the blackboard had something written on it in red chalk, so I took a step inside. Are you really going inside? It'll just take a moment. I want to see what's going on, what's written on the board. Kazu shifted from foot to foot, apparently too nervous to follow me. I'll wait here. I nodded and walked into the room. After getting close, I realized that the markings on the blackboard made up a drawing. I examined the lines of the object and recognized it as a pentagram, but despite the simplicity of the drawing, something about it made me uneasy. On an impulse, I grabbed an eraser and wiped the pentagram away. That looks better. Inexplicably, the thick air in the room suddenly felt much easier to breathe. For a moment, I almost thought I heard someone whisper something to me. I better go back to look for an exit with Kazu. I turned around and walked over to the door. While I left it open, it was closed now. I sighed. Kazu must have been really nervous about this room. I pulled on the door, but it didn't budge. Huh? I knocked on the door, trying to get Kazu's attention. Hey, Kazu, I think the door got stuck when you closed it. Can you see if that side is better? I waited, but got no response. Kazu? I started to get worried. Kazu, are you still there? She had to still be there, right? I was gone for only 2 or 3 minutes. Kazu? Kazu! I suddenly felt my chest tighten. Did she leave me? I didn't want to imagine what might have happened if she didn't wander off on her own. I didn't want to lose her again. Again? Don't let her trick you. My head split with pain. I saw myself topple and fall to the floor before I shut my eyes, but the pain in my head was too intense. There's another typo, Jackal. intense to feel myself hit the floor. I don't want to transfer. This is where my friends are. This school has been a bad influence on you, Misaki. I'm only doing what is best for you. How can you say that? If I go back home, then I won't be able to see Kazu anymore. That's the point, Misaki. Since the school refuses to discourage this phase of yours, it falls upon me as your mother to fix this situation. What are you saying? You you can't think that I'm in some sort of phase? You don't fucking get it, do you? It's not a phase. Making me move won't change who I am. Then I suppose I'll have to do my best to assist you until this illness is she okay, so Kazu referred to me as her girlfriend, so I'm gonna guess that they think that I'm sick because I'm gay, but like, come on. It's not that big a deal. It kind of is in Japan, though. I can understand why why this would happen. In Japan, it doesn't justify why it happens, but god damn it, it's just let them love. What are you giggling at? It's so silly. You actually think you're helping me? That's enough. I'll not have any daughter of mine say such disobedient things. I've already enrolled you to Tendo Senior High for the fall and winter terms. You'll move back in with us next week. This isn't negotiable. Fine. When the memories returned to me, the pain shooting through my head was replaced with anger. How could I forget what happened this summer? I know what you did last summer. I'm not going through a phase. I'm not sick. Why the hell can't my own mother understand I'll only ever be interested in girls? What a joke. Yes. I'm a lesbian. Sorry. It's actually really good that you have a character like this as a main role. Is it also because she kind of looks like Seiko? I'm just saying. She's almost got she's got like the triple drills, you know, like the 3-piece drills. She doesn't have the single drill like Seiko does, but she if her hair wasn't so long, then she'd be Seiko. With clenched fists, I forced myself to stand up. In doing so, I realized that I was wearing my Tendo uniform. That's right, I was leaving from the festival preparations with Tsukiko and the boys. So that Kazu I'd been talking to was a fake? I punched the door, succeeding in nothing but bruising my hand. Damn it! I seethed, wishing there was something for me to hit without hurting my hand. After a few moments, my breathing became more steady and I started to calm down. What do I do now? I'm trapped alone in this old schoolhouse, and whoever put me here can mess with my memories. I turned around, noticing movement out of the corner of my eye. Is someone there? I moved toward the movement, where the movement was, and saw that there was a false wall there. I pushed it open further and could see a passage that seemed to lead into another room. I bet if that girl from Kazu's class were here, she'd point out that this was probably a trap. What was her name again? Ishikami? I shook thoughts from my old school away and squeezed into the hidden passage. Oh, it's the science room. Fuck. Shit. From the other side of the passage, I found what appeared to be a science lab. I headed over to the door and tried to open it, but it barely budged when I tried to move it. Not this room, too. Considering my history with Corpse Party, I'm going to say that it's in a cabinet and not a table. I walked over to the cabinets and opened one of them, looking over the bottles of unknown substances stacked up inside. If I could find some corrosive acid that didn't have toxic fumes, maybe I could melt the lock. I sighed and shook my head. Who am I kidding? It'd be difficult even if I knew that what was in these bottles. I closed the cabinet and looked over at the tarp covering an object in the corner of the room. Shit, it is The anatomical model. Fuck! Curious, I stepped closer to the tarp and looked at the base of the object. I could see what looked like indoor shoes in the bottom of a uniform, and the bottom of uniform pants, but they were darkened as if they'd been too close to a fire. It was probably a bad idea to investigate any further, so I decided to open another cabinet instead. What am I gonna do? I started going through the contents of the cabinet. Aside from some dirty beakers and test tube, all I could find was an old photograph. I took a closer look at the photograph to see that it was a class with everyone lined up. While it was faded, I could see that they were smiling. Seeing those smiling faces brought back memories of Kazu's smile. Would I be able to see that smile again? I love her smiling face most of all. A sudden thud startled me, causing me to drop the photograph. I looked around for the source of the sound and noticed that the object under the tarp had fallen over. My chest tightened and I took a step back. Smile. I thought I heard a voice from the object, which made me even more afraid. I was trying to think of what I'd do when the object under the tarp flung the tarp aside. Under the tarp was a skeleton wearing a burnt-up school uniform. Shino. I backed away from the talking skeleton, hoping it didn't notice me. What the hell is going on? Saki. The skeleton's skull twisted to face my direction, and I froze in place. Is something he might have said, at least. The voice coming from the skeleton shifted drastically, and the skeleton lunged to its feet with more force than it seemed capable of. I knew I needed to run, but I couldn't make myself move. The skeleton scurried over to me, and I felt its hands wrap themselves around my throat. I was hoping to have more fun with you, but you seem to have given up already. A girlish giggle came from the skeleton's direction. I could feel my feet being lifted off the floor, but I was so afraid that I didn't resist. It was like I was just observing someone else, not able to act in my way. The grip around my throat tightened. A banging sound came from behind me, and the skeleton's grip suddenly loosened. Her butt. The skeleton looked behind me, then back at me. You'll live this time, Misaki. I felt the grip around my throat disappear, and I fell to the floor. I coughed and tried to catch my breath. Looking up, I noticed that the skeleton had fallen over as if it had simply returned to being dead. Are you alright, Asahara? I looked up to see Miss Hasegawa standing over me, offering a hand. Taking the hand, I stood up slowly. I pointed at the skeleton. Well, this skeleton... Miss Hasegawa frowned at me. I realized there was no way I could explain what happened without sounding crazy. Did it attack you? While I tried to figure out how to ask how Miss Hasegawa knew, she knelt down next to the body. Let's see here. This is a Kisaragi Academy ID, but the part with his name is burnt away. Is that Yoshiki? That's Yoshiki, isn't it? Miss Hasegawa stood up and looked at me. I'm guessing I don't have to explain to you that this place isn't like our world. What do you mean? Well, how do I explain this? This place is sort of like a parallel dimension. It doesn't exist in the same reality as our world. As a separate world, it has its own set of rules. For instance, the souls of the dead linger here and can interfere with the living. So that corpse that attacked me was... Miss Hasegawa nodded. A spirit possessed that corpse and tried to kill you. It may not even have been the spirit that once lived in that body. I was silent for a moment, staring at the skeleton as I tried to cope with what I just learned. How did we get here? Miss Hasegawa crossed her arms and lowered her hand in thought. It's probably like the last time this happened to me. We managed to anger a vengeful spirit that has power over this dimension, and it decided to trap us here. Another question that was buzzing around the back of my head came to the forefront when I heard that. Wait, how do you know this? This happened to you before? Miss Hasegawa looked away, a distant look on her face. Yes, it was in an old schoolhouse like this too. Come to think of it, this place looks familiar. It may be the same dimension, only altered over time. How did you get out last time? Miss Hasegawa turned to look at me again, but her frown remained. The master of the dimension, who had been split into parts, one representing her hatred, the other her conscience. The part that responded to her conscience used her power to send me back to the real world. However, even if this is the same dimension as last time, I'm not sure we'll get so lucky as to find the right spirit. So, we're trapped here? I shivered and tried not to think about the skeleton only a meter or so away. Maybe, but there's no point in just giving up. Miss Hasegawa gave me a weak smile, as if trying to reassure me, but as soon as I noticed it, the smile faded back to her serious expression. We should work together to find the others. I'm guessing Wakahisa, Tayama, and Iwakura were brought here as well. If we all work together, we may find a way out of here. I nodded, feeling a bit better now that Miss Hasegawa was going to look after me. Where should we look? There doesn't seem to be much of use in this clubroom building. I found some strange markings in the gymnasium and near the incinerator, but I've learned to be cautious around cult markings. Our best bet to finding the others is to reach the main building. Since none of them are over here, they must be in the other building. The other building? But the bridge is out, and it's too far to jump down. No need, we can go out the first floor entrance. Realization dawned on me as I remembered that Miss Hasegawa wasn't around when I was with Kazu and noticed that she listed rooms I hadn't seen. You came from downstairs? I did. The stairwell door was a bit troublesome, but I pried it open with a crowbar. Of course, I'd have appreciated if the crowbar hadn't broken when I got the door open. I looked down at the skeleton next to us and took a deep breath. Well, let's head over to the other building then. Let's hope the others are safe. Miss Hasegawa nodded and led me out of the room. I tried not to think about what had happened in that room as I left. We quickly moved through the first floor of the clubroom building, as Miss Hasegawa called it, and headed outside. Stay close. That forest may look like a way out, but you'll just get lost if you try to escape that way. Right. I followed close behind Miss Hasegawa as we walked over to the main building. She opened the door and looked inside before crossing the threshold. After a moment, she motioned for me to come in as well. We started walking down a hallway, and I wondered just how big this school was. While I was walking, I saw a ghostly figure peeking out of a classroom, out of the corner of my eye. Miss Hasegawa! Miss Hasegawa turned around and looked at the classroom I was pointing to. The ghostly figure disappeared into the room as Miss Hasegawa looked at it. It looked like a ghost. We probably should just let it be. I looked at the classroom door again, wondering why the ghost wasn't attacking us. That's what the skeleton had done, after all. It's a blue ghost. It's a good ghost. But, you know, just to be safe, we're gonna save, and let's know why it wasn't attacking us. I'll go see what it wants. I'll be right back. Miss Hasegawa looked surprised at my insistence, but her face softened after a moment. Very well, I'll wait outside just in case it becomes violent. Be careful. I walked over to the room the ghost had been peeking out of and slid it all the way open before walking inside. Inside the room, I found the ghost cowering under a desk. Hey, what's wrong? The ghost shivered a bit, but she crawled out from under the desk and looked around. She didn't follow you, did she? Who, Miss Hasegawa? Well, where is she? I need to know. She's waiting outside. Why? The ghost girl took a breath and looked at me. I'm scared of her. She's the only person that I know escaped this place before. I thought back to what Miss Hasegawa said about having been in a place like this before. I suppose she wasn't lying. Who are you? My name is Mika Fukunaga, but just call me Fuka. That's what my friends called me. I'm Misaki Asahara. Can you tell me about what happened to you, or do you not want to share that? Well, my friends and I were all here together, but Sakata and Nakai decided to go search on their own for a bit, and Jin and I tried to explore the other building. The bridge collapsed when we were coming back to meet up with the others, and Jin broke her neck in the fall. I ran in here and hid in a closet, but something came and locked the closet. I think my body is still stuck in there. That's terrible. The ghost girl looked over my shoulder and frowned. What do you know about Hasegawa? I don't think she can hear us, so tell me everything. I rubbed the back of my head trying to figure out what this ghost was getting at. Well, she's my teacher, and she says she was in a place like this before and escaped. She also likes ghost stories, but I don't think that's relevant here. Fuka clutched her hand close to her chest and shuddered. You don't know about her sister? I concentrated for a moment, but I don't remember Miss Hasegawa saying anything about a sister. I didn't think she had a sister. That's because her sister died here. We were both silent for a moment. What? There were two Hasegawa sisters, Kaori and Shiho. The younger one, Shiho, was killed by a ghost pretending to be her sister. The older one, Kaori, escaped. My chest tightened, and I heard myself gasp. That sounds just like the ghost story Miss Hasegawa told us before we came here. Shiho still haunts these halls, torturing those of us unlucky enough to be trapped here. I know because she was the one who destroyed the bridge while Jin was crossing it. So now that her older sister is back, who knows what Shiho is going to do? She said something to me about wanting her sister dearest to be proud of her. So Kaori Hasegawa must be some kind of murderer. There's no other way she could be proud of such a monster. I was about to explain to Fuka that Miss Hasegawa wasn't some kind of serial killer when I heard footsteps behind me and saw Fuka's eyes widen. I heard shouting. Is something wrong, Asahira? Fuka let out an ear-piercing scream and ran into a corner where she disappeared into a cabinet. Miss Hasegawa! What happened? I looked into the cabinet where Fuka fled to and then back to Miss Hasegawa's face. Miss Hasegawa couldn't be a murderer, could she? That ghost said that your younger sister died here. Miss Hasegawa frowned and looked away. I see. Is that true? Silence and a slow nod from Miss Hasegawa. 7 years ago, my sister died in this old schoolhouse. She opened her mouth as if to say more, then turned toward the door. Let's go. We still need to find the others. I slowly followed Miss Hasegawa, each step more uncertain. Could I still trust her? Chapter 3, Blind Trust. Thank you guys so much for sitting down and watching me play Corpse Party D20 Hope. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. If you want to get further ahead in the game yourself, you can play it through the link in the description. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, because I tweet a lot, and I stream on Twitch and YouTube, and you can go on my Tumblr to see my trash, and that's about it. This is Aki. Have a great day, and remember to always stay safe.
Don't tell me, baby, 'cause I don't really wanna know what happened last night. Oh no, just say it wasn't so. Just say you love me and let me fall back into sleep. And when I wake up, just say I had a real bad